won't be a California earthquake, but the ground is going to be shaken near Los Angeles and Anaheim, California, with the multi-engine modified tractors on the U.S. Hot Rod Association Tour. Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas. Welcome to Super Tracks as we get ready in Anaheim to bring you the multi-engine modifieds, and we're talking any possible combination from 2 up to 5 engines you're going to see pulling these 7,200-pound tractors today. Ready to go with our test puller. It's the Fancy Farmer out of Kentucky, Mayfield, Kentucky. This is Robert Elliott. 4 Keith Black Hemi engines power this Kentucky tractor. Getting everything fired up, and now Robert Elliott is ready to get us started today on Super Tracks. What a way to start the show. A full pull for Robert Elliott and the 4-engine Fancy Farmer out of Kentucky. Once again on the replay, the raw horsepower of the Fancy Farmer getting it done and taking it out of here. It is a full pull for Robert Elliott's Fancy Farmer. So right off the bat, they're banging it out of here. And here's another tractor that certainly has that same capability. It's Steve Jaski out of Wisconsin and the Miller High Life Special. Now he goes with a 4 Aries engine combination. We'll see if that works as well as those big Keith Black Hemis did for Robert Elliott just a moment ago. All right, he's hooked to the sled, and now Steve Jaski will take the slack out. The Jaski family has been in this sport a long, long time. Steve will try and bang one out of here. Ready to go. Track conditions are green. It's Miller High Life and Steve Jaski. We are 2 for 2, another full pull. Steve Jaski's Wisconsin-based Miller High Life Special made it look easy. I thought he might have a little problem here about midway in the track when you can see him kind of cocked sideways, but it never bothered him. Plenty of horsepower hooking up to this California track, and Steve Jaski guarantees us of a pull-off by going out of here with a full pull. The Fancy Farmer has already done likewise. Our third competitor is Robert Gialetti out of Turlock, California. His tractor is called the Godfather. Like Jaski and the Miller High Life Special, the Godfather uses a 4 Aries engine combination. We'll see if he is able to bring the horsepower to the ground like Jaski did in front of it. All right, eases out, takes the slack out. Now you'll listen for the throttle for the engine RPMs to go up, and here he comes. Well short of that finish mark. Matter of fact, he's short of the 200-foot mark, so the Godfather did not get what he wanted to off his pull here at Anaheim today on Super Tracks. And, well, the wheel speed just never seemed like it was up there for Gialetti. So he comes up short of the 200-foot mark. The official distance comes in at 194 feet, 11 inches for Robert Gialetti and the Godfather. Well, next up, we've showed you Aries engines and Keith Black Hemis. This is the unusual combination of 2 Allison aircraft engines. It's the new and improved Rambunctious and Milton Bergman out of Fort Recovery, Ohio. And again, Allison aircraft engine power brings you the new and improved Rambunctious. We'll see if the aircraft engines can fly it out of Anaheim Stadium right now. Going to be close. Again, like the Godfather, Bergman comes up short of the 200-foot mark. We'll get the distance in just a moment. As you can hear, the engine does not sound real crisp at all. Just never got a lot of wheel speed, as you see on the replay. Did not have the horsepower to take it out of here at Anaheim. So Milton Bergman and the new and improved Rambunctious is going to be in at 186 feet, 11 inches. And that's not really very close to that full pull mark for Milt Bergman. Bergman will, the Bergman family will have another vehicle pulling later. That's rambunctious too. But right now, we're going to look at a very, very powerful combination. The 5-engine Rodeck combination on Ohio Gold. John Heilman out of Rockford, Ohio. John is the only guy we'll see today running 5 engines on his 7,200-pound tractor. Let's see if he can take it out. Power to spare. Wow. John Heilman, I think, could have just kept on driving and kept on pulling it. Watch again. He has to correct because he is close to the out-of-bounds marker. Brings it back toward the center. Now, they're giving him the red flag to stop, and he looked like he could have just kept on going. Very impressive full pull for John Heilman's Ohio Gold. Well, here's one of the most unique vehicles in all of motorsports. Dusty Arfons' Dragon Lady, the daughter of the legend Art Arfons, and she puts on a show. Look at this. Well, the fans with the cameras always have a good time when the Dragon Lady and when the Green Monster come onto the track, and Dusty's ready to go. She has to get a full pull if she's going to be able to hang with the big boys today in Anaheim. Dusty Arfons and the Dragon Lady. Not going to get there. She's going to stop close to the 200-foot mark as those twin T55 Lycoming turbine engines not quite able to get it done. Just short of the 200-foot mark. Still, always a fan favorite. Really puts on a show. Very visual with those turbine engines blowing that fire. It's Dusty Arfons' Dragon Lady at 193 feet, 4 inches. Her dad, Art, will be out in a little bit, but right now, another powerhouse, Jim Brockman and the Kodiak In-Laws and Outlaws out of New Haven, Indiana. Now, he switches up his engine. He runs 2 Keith Black Hemis and 2 Aries. He'll now take out the slack of the chain, and then you'll watch that right hand. Once he gets green conditions, he's going to bring the right hand down on the throttle. And Brockman will be headed for what he hopes is a full pull. He's in trouble near the out-of-bounds marker. He had to let off of it. That is a surprise. Jim Brockman, who expected to be near the top of this class today in Anaheim. You can see he gambled by going to the far left-hand side of the track as the driver faces it, and that gamble backfired when he had to let off or else go out of bounds. Only 196 feet, 4 inches, and Brockman misses the pull-off. Well, we talked about the legend. Here he is, Art Arfons out of Akron, Ohio, and the Green Monster. Like Dusty, he gets those turbine engines blowing fire, and the fans love it in Anaheim. Now, it's 2 GE T64 turbine engines that power the Green Monster. Art Arfons, a member of the Motorsports Hall of Fame, former world land speed record holder, is trying to get a full pull in Anaheim. And he's got it. Art Arfons and the Green Monster pulls it out of Anaheim Stadium. A full pull, and there's the replay with those turbine engines just a snorting fire. The Green Monster takes it out. Art Arfons means we'll have 4 going to the pull-off. Now, the rambunctious 2 entry out of Fort Recovery, Ohio, Dwayne Bergman, and like Milt, 2 Allison aircraft engines supplying the power. This is rambunctious 2. Fort Recovery, Ohio's Dwayne Bergman needs a full pull to join that growing pull-off field. And not going to get there. The Allison aircraft engines did not supply enough power, and Dwayne had to correct. We'll see on the replay that he was very close to going out of bounds. Here you go. Look how he has to cock the wheels and touch the ground. That pulls him back to the center of the track, but it also cost him some distance. Rambunctious 2 and Dwayne Bergman, 198 feet, 1 inch. Again, short of that 200-foot mark. Well, our final competitor before the pull-off is a guy who certainly has the capabilities of joining the pull-off field. Dave Walsh and the Irish Challenger out of Boston, Wisconsin, 4 powerful Aries engines. There's Walsh taking the slack out. His brother Dan we'll see later today in San Diego in two-wheel drive competition here on Super Tracks. The Irish Challenger tractor. No problem. Looked like he even let off at the end and just coasted across the full pull line. The powerful Irish Challenger on the replay. He had plenty to spare. Dave Walsh blows past the finish line with a full pull. A total of 5 top competitors. The Fancy Farmer, Miller High Life, Ohio Gold, Green Monster, and the Irish Challenger will go to the pull-off. Rambunctious 2 finishes 6th. Then it's the Kodiak In-Laws and Outlaws, the Godfather, Dragon Lady, and the new and improved Rambunctious rounding out the field. You better get out your road atlas to keep up with us here on Super Tracks. We're now taking you to Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California, for super modified two-wheel drive truck pulling. I'm Scott Douglas with you on Super Tracks. The fans at Jack Murphy having a good time, and they're ready for the funny cars of the pulling sport. We are talking about the 6,200-pound super modified two-wheel drive pulling trucks. And man, is there a world-class field ready to go here. 6 of the best in the business are going to try and win it here at Jack Murphy Stadium. We begin with Magnum Jr. Butch Schultz pulls his Ford to the line. Your finish line flagman Mike Speller gives him a green, and we're ready to go. Butch Schultz, the test puller in Magnum Jr. Oh, he's broken. Big problems for Butch Schultz and Magnum Jr. Something went away on the replay. I don't know if it just locked up on him. Just busted on him right there. Terrible break for Butch Schultz and Magnum Jr. This is one thing you did not want to see. A pull listed at 44 feet, 11 inches. Bad break for Butch Schultz and Magnum Jr. Well, here comes the Toyota. One of the few Toyotas in U.S. Hot Rod Association competition. Bill Romsberg out of Alberton, Pennsylvania, brings you the Rice Burner. And all he has to beat to take the lead is 44 feet, 11 inches, but he knows it's going to take a lot more than that to win here at Jack Murphy Stadium. Not a great pull, but it's enough to get the lead, and we'll see how it stands up for Romsberg's Rice Burner. It's coming in just short of 200 feet, 177 feet even. As you can see at the end, just wasn't nothing left. No big problems for the Rice Burner. Just not enough horsepower on this day in San Diego. 177 even for Romsberg. Well, that's now the distance to beat as John Heilman brings up the Golden Thunder Ford Thunderbird Super Coupe out of Rockford, Ohio. Long-time veteran in the pulling sport. And anywhere we go across the country taping Super Tracks, certainly one of the best-known competitors in the pulling sports is John Heilman. Ready to go now in Golden Thunder. It'll be enough to take the lead. 185 feet is the read we're going to get on Golden Thunder, the Thunderbird Super Coupe of John Heilman. So while I said the Rice Burner may have been a little disappointed, certainly his pull, when you compare it to the Golden Thunder pull, is right up there competitively. So obviously, this track, you're just going to have to try and get past that 200-foot mark. Right now, your leader, 185, Golden Thunder, John Heilman. The Kodiak Chevy C-Cab is coming to the line now. In-Laws and Outlaws is the name of the truck. Jim Brockman out of New Haven, Indiana, will be piloting this uniquely styled vehicle. And, you know, I talked about them being funny cars. That's one of the things you can do about anything you want with the body styling in this division. And this Chevy C-Cab is certainly a classic. Jim Brockman. close to where Heilman and Romsberg were. Let's look at it on the replay as they'll measure the distance here in just a second. A solid pull by Kodiak, and indeed it's going to be enough to grab the lead. Jim Brockman's Kodiak In-Laws and Outlaws, 186 feet 1 inch by just over a foot. That gives him the lead. Well, you talk about classics. How about this 1934 coupe? Steve Jaski and the Miller High Life Express. Out of Wisconsin, Jaski takes out the slack. You gotta beat 186 and change to take the lead. All right, Jaski obviously taking his time, now ready to go, and we'll see Miller High Life. Brand new leader, a big flame out at the end, and the engine has caught fire. They'll try and get it. Now it will calm down on its own, as a couple of the U.S. Hot Rod officials were headed for fire extinguishers, but it calms down on its own. Otherwise, a great pull for Jaski. It will be officially recorded as a full pull, the first to go past the 200-foot mark, and a full pull for Steve Jaski and the Miller High Life Special. Well, there's only one more to go in our San Diego two-wheel drive class, so either Jaski wins it or he'll have to come back in a one-on-one pull-off against Dan Walsh and the very powerful Irish Challenger Ford out of Wisconsin. You can see the fans whooping it up in San Diego, having a good time with the U.S. Hot Rod Association here on Super Tracks. Well, Dan Walsh, the Irish Challenger, is taking up the RPMs, and the Ford is coming at you. Close but no cigar. He does not hit the full pull mark, so the winner is going to be Miller High Life and Steve Jaski. On the replay, this is a good, strong pull from the Irish Challenger, and Dan Walsh will actually finish second today because the distance is 189 feet even. But he needed another 11 feet to force a pull-off, and he couldn't get it. There's your winner, Steve Jaski, in the Miller High Life Special. The 34 coupe gets the job done today. The Miller Express wins it with a full pull at 200 feet plus. The Irish Challenger goes second for Dan Walsh. Kodiak third. Heilman's Golden Thunder fourth. Romsberg and the Rice Burner and Schultz and Magnum Jr. rounds out the competition from San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. The great action continues on Super Tracks with the pull-off for our modified multi-engine tractors. Earlier in the program, you saw a huge class in Anaheim, California, narrowed down to 5 who could make full pulls. Well, now we'll see them try to determine a winner. We put a ton more weight in the sled. Let me say several tons more weight in the sled. We'll see how far they can take it down this track at Anaheim. And Robert Elliott is first up in the Fancy Farmer out of Mayfield, Kentucky. Like a little bit of smoke that we're not used to seeing out of Robert Elliott. Don't know if there's an engine problem out of one of those Keith Black Hemis, and that could be the case. Whatever it is, it appears there something went away for Bob Elliott, and I don't think he's going to be real happy with the pull, yet we can't gauge the relative strength of it because there's so much more weight added to the sled until we see some more competitors. There's Robert Elliott, the Fancy Farmer. Whatever problems he had came near the end of the run, and 143 feet 2 inches will now be the distance to beat. Miller High Life, Steve Jaski, the Wisconsin puller with 4 big Aries engines ready to go. We'll see if the Aries combination can take the lead. 143 and 2 is what he's got to beat. You can really see how he was shaking the earth from the ground level. Steve Jaski's Miller High Life has taken the lead. Going past the 150-foot mark, there you get a look at the ground-rattling Miller High Life Special. Your new leader, 162 feet 5 inches. 162 and 5. Now the distance to beat for the Miller High Life Special. The only competitor today in Anaheim with a 5-engine setup, John Heilman, out of Rockford, Ohio. 5 Rodec engines pulling Ohio gold. I can't tell you why that pull didn't go as far as Heilman hoped it would. It just never seemed to hook up. Everything looked okay, but he came up short of the mark, and I know John thought he could get the lead on this pull. He'll come in at 155 feet 6 inches. So Heilman, still a good pull as he's setting second right now. Well, here comes Art Arfons, the legend and the Green Monster, member of the Motorsports Hall of Fame and former world land speed record holder, blowing fire out of those twin turbines, T64 GE turbine engines. Art Arfons trying to get the lead. A rough ride, a very rough ride for Art Arfons, and he had to bring it down on the ground. That'll cost him. He's short of the 150-foot mark, but like his daughter Dusty, you can say this, when you see Art in action and you got that camera going, you get quite a show, as we do here on Super Treks. The Green Monster and Art Arfons, 144 feet 4 inches, so at least for the moment, that will knock him into third place. Our final competitor is Dave Walsh, 4 Arias engines to power the Irish Challenger out of Boston, Wisconsin. The distance he needs to beat, 162.5, and yep, he's going to be loud here in just a minute. Here comes the Irish Challenger. He's got a shot. I think he's got it. He needed to beat 162, and the Irish Challenger is very close and may have done it. Look at the pull on replay. It is a beauty. And we're getting the distance right now. Dave Walsh, the Irish Challenger, needed to beat 162.5. He has done it. 164 feet 2 inches, and there's your winner at Anahiem Stadium, the Wisconsinite Dave Walsh and the Irish Challenger coming out of California with a big, big victory. 164.2 for the Irish Challenger, wins it by less than 2 feet over Miller High Life. Ohio Gold is third, Arfons and the Green Monster fourth, and the Fancy Farmer rounds out the top 5.